Chiefs win the Super Bowl.
Chiefs win. Cry, Eagles, cry.
Great, excited to be back early.
You know, every day I got the Three Stooges in the studio with me is a good fucking day.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
So let's make sure he gets that bag.
Frauds. Woo!
Justin's way ahead in picks. That's all that you need to fucking know.
Show's over.
Show's over. We're going home.
I would like to welcome you back to another page of the Playbook Sports Podcast.
All right, so we have done Addison's mock. We have done Sage's mock. Now it is my turn. And Colin, you'll bring up the rear of this at a little bit closer towards draft time. And we'll do one more full mock where we all have different picks and everything to try and get through it. But today we've got my mock. And we'll do it how we've been doing them. You know, I'll go through my first 5 picks with minimal explaining, maybe just a little bit for some ones. But then we'll go back through them and we'll get some opinions, get your guys' thoughts on them. So pick number 1, Carolina. Now, I said this when they made the trade. Josh McCown is a huge CJ Stroud guy, and he is on that coaching staff. He told him when they met at Ohio State's Pro Day, can't wait to get you down to Charlotte. That is a video of him telling CJ Stroud that. But I think CJ Stroud is a high floor, but I think he's got maybe the lowest ceiling of the 4 QBs. I don't think you give up what they gave up for a lower ceiling quarterback. And I love Carolina getting Anthony Richardson, number 1 overall. You go up and you get the guy that just blew away the combine. You go get the guy with the arm strength, the guy that, like, if you put CJ Stroud on the Panthers next year, they're going to suck straight up. There's no weapons for him to throw it to. He's used to throwing to these stud receivers. There's nothing in Carolina. Anthony Richardson has the legs to keep it. He's like the Justin Fields. Like, I don't need the receivers right now. I can get it done with my legs, and the arm will come as I get weapons. I like Anthony Richardson in Carolina. He reminds me a lot of Cam Newton. Give me Richardson at 1 to Carolina. Pick 2, Houston, Bryce Young. I think he's the best overall prospect as a quarterback. He's the most ready. He's also got a high ceiling, but he also has a high floor. I think he's going to be really talented. Pick 3, first trade of my mock draft. I got Indy moving up a spot. I think they're going to be a little bit nervous. But when they see Anthony Richardson go 1 and Bryce Young at 2, I think Indy's all in on CJ Stroud. And I've got them giving up pick number 4 and pick number 79 to Arizona to move up 1 spot and take CJ Stroud, which then moves Arizona down to 4, and they take the best player in the draft with Will Anderson. And then I've got Seattle going with, they just love these athletes, man, these freak guys, and that's Tyree Wilson, defensive end out of Texas Tech. So my first 5 picks are Anthony Richardson, Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, Will Anderson Jr., and Tyree Wilson.
I absolutely love Wilson to Seattle, going back to 5-1. Love that. Like you said, freak athlete, absolutely insane year, just combine in general. And Seattle, sort of a nice bonus pick here at 5. Didn't play to the 5, you know, they made the playoffs. This is not their, this is the Denver Broncos pick, and they're going to select somebody that it's just an addition. Who's the best player here? Who do we think has the best pop potential? And Tyree Wilson, I absolutely love. 4 and 3, I love the trade. I'm also big on, even if it's Stroud at 1, in my opinion, I think Colts still might move up to 3. I think what you gave up in compensation is good because they're not going to get, you're moving up
1 spot.
But I will say, you look back, what the Bears gave up to move up 3 to 2, but that was first QB off the board.
Right.
This would be 3rd QB off the board. So I love the comp there. I think a 1st and a 3rd, you give up that middle pick, sort of sucks because most likely Colts do draft well. That could be a day 1 starter, but it's worth it to go get the future completely. Right. CJ Stroud at 3, I think is a dream scenario for the Colts. That would be amazing for the future. I love CJ Stroud. Bryce Young, I think, is a home run to Houston. I think that's just hammered, done. It's already there.
Write it down.
And he's going to. Richardson at 1. I absolutely love, like you said, Nate, freak athlete, combine, blew up. He's got a cannon of an arm, silk release, can do everything with his legs. I will say, though, I think Carolina has maybe made some moves to maybe where they don't need Rich. Maybe they could go Stroud just because Thielen, I mean, he's a wily old guy. They did bring in Shark.
That's also true. Really, I forgot about Shark. You're right.
It was just late signing yesterday. But it's also like, I love DJ Shark, but he's going to produce what people want him to be, to what he could be, or is he going to go to Panthers for a year And all of a sudden he's another team's, hey, let's go get DJ Chark and hope he can burst onto the scene when it's the 4th team in 4 years.
Right.
So, but I do like Carolina's moves, but either way, I love Rich, even with the moves, like, please, like, regardless, Richardson's potential, just looking at all these
Crazy.
guys, how the way they tested, like, this dude's athletic ability off the charts, literally. And then if you can sculpt this guy, Frank Reich, offensive guru, quarterback whisper guy, if he can mold Richardson, you got to think he does have the best potential out of any of these guys just because his athletic ability. I love him at 1. I mean, Cam, just a big body type, athlete.
Yep.
Cam can throw the deep ball. It's been there. It worked. Obviously, they're not the same player, but you could say prototype build. But I love that 1 through 5, man. Absolutely love it.
Yeah, and I think if I had to bet money on who I thought goes 1, it's CJ Stroud. Like I said, I know Josh McCown loves him and all of these. I just feel like you gave up so much, and Anthony Richardson's probably the most tantalizing of the prospects, the most guy where you're like, this guy could be insane, like a Jalen Hurts type. And we just watched what Jalen Hurts did this year. And I just think that he would be really good with Frank Reich. It's kind of a hope. I hope Frank Reich gets his hands on this guy because I think Frank Reich can develop him.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, though, with all the talks, is Carolina going to trade? I don't think they do trade back out of 1. So they got to hope their guy, you know what I mean? I don't want to say you reach to hope that Richardson is good, but if they are sold on this guy, you cannot be shy because other people are there. If he's your guy, you moved up to 1 to control the draft. Take your guy.
Do it.
And I
Take
love
the guy.
Richardson. Yeah.
Yeah. So those are my first 5 I've got. Moving forward, pick 6, Detroit. This one is chalk for me. I'm going to mock this every time. Christian Gonzalez, corner from Oregon. They need corner help. Jeff Okuda has not worked out. Amani Oruwariye just left, so they're down a couple corners. They need it. I do like their addition of CJ GJ on the back end. Get a corner in there, man. Get a corner, please. Pick 7, Vegas. I got them taking Will Levis. I really like Will Levis to Vegas. I think that Will Levis has shown enough to where people are also going to buy in on the arm strength and just the potential, and the comp between him and Josh Allen won't stop. It will just be the comp for a long time. Big arm guy out of a school that's not known for football, that maybe we could turn him into something. Do I think he'll beat Josh Allen? No. But could he? Yes. So I like Will Levis there to Vegas. Jimmy G's a Band-Aid. He's not the future. Obviously, he's in his 30s. They need somebody to look forward to. Pick 8, I stopped the fall of Jalen Carter right here. I think he stays in Georgia and goes to the Falcons here. Pick 9, I've got the Bears taking Paris Johnson Jr., offensive tackle, Ohio State. I went back and forth between him and Skoronski and, honestly, Broderick Jones. I think all 3 of them are really good. I just think Paris Johnson has more intangibles, like the size, I would say. He's the biggest one. He's got the longest arms. I just like Paris Johnson's tape a little bit more. And then pick number 10, I've been excited about this one. Big surprise. They don't have one on the roster that's good and trustworthy. Give me Bijan Robinson to Philadelphia at pick number 10. A little bit early for a running back, probably, but he is so talented. They let Miles Sanders walk. You're not going to trust Rashad Penny to play 17 games. Kenneth Gainwell is, he's okay.
Play the full season.
Yeah, he can't do it for a full season. They brought back Darius Slay and James Bradbury. For the longest time, I've had Devin Witherspoon here, but they brought back both their corners, and I think they're in a win now situation. And Bijan Robinson could have a rookie year like Zeke did, like a rookie year like Saquon Barkley did. And I think Bijan Robinson would be a home run pick for them. And it's like we've said, do they re-sign him in 4 or 5 years? I don't know. But does he make them better this season? Absolutely.
Yeah. I love Bijan Robinson at 10. Absolutely love it. It's a want pick, not a need. They have this pick at 10 after competing in the Super Bowl. And like you said, Sanders just walked out the door to Carolina.
Yeah.
So you replace him with a potentially better running back, you know what I mean? Immediately. Bijan Robinson, like we said, I mean, everybody keeps talking about this guy. If he wasn't a running back, he'd be the first pick. You know what I mean? Like his athletic ability, what this guy is. And running back at the end of the day, undervalued, very important position though. At the end of the day, you get the ball a lot on the field a lot, and this guy is a playmaker. Love him at 10. Absolutely love Paris Johnson Jr. at 9 of the Bears.
Yep.
Think the pro day confirmed it completely. Looks like an athletic freak. Most likely play both sides tackle, but we'll probably kick him right because we got Braxton Jones on the left side. Didn't make the move in right tackle in free agency. Big Bears guy over here. I know for sure we did not make that move, but we make the move in the draft right here. Too high for Jackson Smith and Jigba. Poles just talked about trading. Great if you do, great if you don't.
Yeah.
Because Paris Johnson Jr. will be elite at right tackle, and he's Justin Fields' boy. Like, they're really close friends too. Like, how bad is that?
Right.
Jalen Carter at 8 make me very happy, so the Bears don't even have to think about it.
Yep.
Because that would be a good conversation. I love Atlanta shorting out that defensive line. Need help there. Need a lot of positions there. Get potentially the best player in the draft at 8 and
Right.
walk away grinning. Walk away grinning. 7, Will Levis.
Yeah.
Absolutely love going to the Raiders too.
Yeah.
I mean, sits behind Jimmy G for a year, maybe 2,
Maybe
potentially
two.
1 though, because he played in a pro style offense his last 2 years at Kentucky, played in the Rams, then they did 49ers stuff this last season. So he's played in a pro style offense, and go sit in this elaborate playbook, that Derek Carr can handle in 13 games. We're going to give you a full season to just digest it. And then potentially, if you're ready, Jimmy G, I'm sorry, man, you're gone, or you're the
done.
backup. It's it's San Francisco all over again. Either
Yep.
take us to the Super Bowl and win, or if Levis is ready, sorry. Christian Gonzalez at 6, I'm pissed. Because, man, I want him to be the conversation with the Bears at 9.
Oh, that'd be
Because
awesome.
then it's like, man, best corner in the draft. I understand right tackle is a huge need, but man, best corner in the draft. Absolutely love that for Detroit, but hate it at the same time as a Bears fan because he's going to bolster that secondary where they
Pretty
need
good.
it. Lakuta played better last year, but he was
Better.
like a pick, man.
Right.
Like, this guy was supposed to be shut down. AJ
Elite.
Terrell, he's not. You know what I mean? He is not that. So I love the addition of Gonzalez. Cease, I feel like I'm hogging it all. So what do you think
Yeah,
about
Cease,
that?
what you got for us? Jump in here.
Oh no, I'm just a spectator here. I like what you got going so far. The first 10 rounds, Bijan obviously to Philadelphia would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Behind that line with the read option with Hurts, that'd be scary.
Yeah.
Christian Gonzalez to Detroit is an awesome fit as well. I'd be interested if they would take Jalen Carter there as well. Obviously, you talked about their secondary depth. How they lost a couple of guys, and they have a few guys who haven't reached their full potential or shown their full potential at the pro level. So Gonzalez there, I do think he's the best corner in the draft.
Yeah. And his combine, I mean, I think that just gave you a reason. If you were questioning a top 10 pick, this guy's worth a top 10 pick because corners are invaluable, man. You need them. You need them.
Yeah.
And Levis does seem like a Raider, in my opinion.
He does. He really does.
If you had to tell me out of the 4 quarterbacks, and I don't want to say this because I'm going to sound like a hater when I say this, but if you told me out of the 4 quarterbacks who I think might flop the most out of the 4, it just has to be Levis. Yes, he has strength. Yes, he has the body. Yes, he's played in the pro style offense his last 2 years in college. But it's like, if you're going to the Raiders just have this long history of just screwing up their first round draft picks.
Yes, they do.
Guy out of the 4 that might be the flop of it, but I don't know. Obviously, you can talk about Richardson and his accuracy in passing. It would have to develop, but just his athleticism alone could probably carry him a little more than if Levis struggles throwing the ball. What else could he provide to the offense? You know what I mean?
Right. He doesn't have the legs. And honestly, I think the Raiders call Arizona and try to move up to 3 to get CJ Stroud. If Stroud's there at 3 or even Richardson at 3. But I think that Arizona is we don't want to miss out on Will Anderson. And the Colts are offering us a 3rd round pick, and we just fall back a spot, guarantee ourselves our guy. I think that they're way more apt to take that trade.
See, I think that is interesting. I think the Raiders are definitely the competition for that 3rd quarterback, and it's also dependent on who it is. Say just hypothetically goes to Stroud Young.
Right.
I mean, you look on betting sites, it's pretty close for the Colts to take Richardson or Levis.
Right.
So it's who do they take? Who's there? And I think the Raiders competition, because my thing is you do drop to 7, you do miss out on Will Anderson. But then who you getting here? Jalen Carter? You getting Christian Gonzalez? You might Will Anderson probably will be gone, but Tyree Wilson's right there. You know what I mean? But Will Anderson is also this premier edge. So if he's that much better and you love him, I love the trade to the Colts. But it's going to be interesting because Raiders, they're not wrong. As much as they got Jimmy G, if CJ Stroud's right there and you can sit for a year, Bucko, come on. I mean, I don't get how you don't try to go do that.
Agreed. You got to take a swing at one of these quarterbacks because we know what Jimmy G is.
Yep.
We know who he is, and
plays well, but then gets hurt and is not enough to be the future. I'm sorry, that's just how it is.
Right, he has cost them Super Bowls in San Francisco, not won them, cost them.
Yeah.
And also, quickly before you continue, Nate, you look at Jimmy G. Yes, he can get you there, but look at the teams he's had around him as well. And I don't think anywhere close to the roster that San Fran, and if you want to go back to New England, even
right,
one of those teams.
are
Well-
the Raiders winning a game in the championship game where he throws 9 times or 8 times or whatever it
No.
was. No. So and then there you go.
Unless Josh Jacobs has 250 rushing yards.
Yeah.
But no.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my top 10 picks. I
Love
think I'm
that.
going more of like a possible, like, again, if
Yeah.
I put money down on all of these picks, it'd probably be a little different, but this
I
is more
love
of like
that,
the
though.
draft's crazy, man. The draft
Oh
is
yeah,
crazy.
it is.
So pick number 11, I've got another trade here. This is one I said when I rebuilt the Commanders. I think Tennessee needs a wide receiver. They don't have any talent at wide receiver outside of Treylon Burks. So I think Washington, once they see Devin Witherspoon get past pick number 10, I got Washington calling up Tennessee saying, listen, we want pick 11. We'll give you guys Terry McLaurin on a very team-friendly 3-year extension. Get yourself a wide receiver 1 and compete in the bad division. And so I've got Washington moving up to pick number 11. They also get pick number 76, which is Tennessee's 3rd round pick, and Tennessee gets Scary Terry. And with that pick, I've got the Commanders taking Devin Witherspoon, corner from Illinois. Plug and play, day 1 starter for them, and they will need help defensively. You know, their offense definitely needs help, and I thought about a wide receiver here, but ultimately I decided Devin Witherspoon's too talented to pass on. Pick 12, Houston stays put, gets Bryce Young a weapon. That's Jordan Addison. I got Addison going at 12 here. He just gets open, man. All he does is get open. I think Bryce Young and him will have an instant connection, and I would love them together. Pick 13, I've got another trade. I think we've got a battle right now of who's going to blink first, Green Bay or the Jets. They both think they have leverage. Green Bay can sit there and say, you need a quarterback. We have the quarterback. Give us what we want. And the Jets can sit there and say, you have a quarterback that's going to cost you $60 million against the cap.
Yeah.
You need to get rid of him. Give him to us for something cheaper. I think ultimately, though, the Jets, like Green Bay, will eat the cap. I think Green Bay will eat the cap before they don't get what they want.
They've already
the
figured
Jets-
it out too. So like they can fit, like
Right.
they can. So
They
it's
can
like
eat it.
shitty as it is, but it's like they will pay him that money. It sounds
Yep,
like.
they will just do it and suck it up. And the Jets they have Zach Wilson on roster as a quarterback. They can't even go to Mike White anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
They have to get a quarterback. So I think they blink first. And I think they give up pick number 13 for Aaron Rodgers. And Green Bay does something they've never done for Aaron Rodgers. And they take Jackson Smith and Jigba here at pick number 13.
Oh
They-
god.
They go get a top wide receiver for Jordan Love to pair up with Christian Watson and Romeo Dobbs. And they move from there. Pick 14, I got New England going, just replacing an offensive tackle from Georgia with another offensive tackle from Georgia, Broderick Jones. Plug and play, day 1 starter. They don't have a right tackle. You would love a weapon, but you just saw probably the best 2 weapons go. I think this is a little early for Quentin Johnston. Definitely early for anybody like Jalen Hyatt and Zay Flowers. So I'm going with Broderick Jones, the best tackle. Probably him and Peter Skronsky here. It's close, but give me Broderick Jones because I think Skronsky's more of a guard, possibly. And then pick number 15, Green Bay stays true to themselves, and they go get Miles Murphy, defensive end out of Clemson. Drafting defense in the first round is their specialty. It's what they love to do. Thought about a tight end here. I really did, but I couldn't go back-to-back weapons at 13 and 15. And Miles Murphy is more talented than pick 15, in my opinion, but he falls.
Yep.
So yeah, I go Witherspoon, Jordan Addison, JSN, Broderick Jones, and Miles Murphy, 10 through 15. Or 11 through 15.
Cease, take her away.
I love that. That's the weapons round right there.
Yeah.
I do like Broderick Jones, the Patriots. I believe I did that whenever I
did.
rebuilt the Patriots.
Yep.
And then you talk about the 2 weapons there. I would be interested to see if Green Bay would rather go tight end, like maybe take Miles Murphy at 13 and then go tight end at 15.
Yeah.
Because they obviously lost Tanya, and then you have Romeo Dobbs and Christian Watson, who are both rookies last year. So how much do you trust them, I guess, is the question. But I like those picks, man. I like Jordan Addison going first off the board for receivers. I do think we talked about this on end, how we all kind of like the route running receivers more so than like the go up and get it, burn by you kind of guy. So I like that. I like that pairing him with Bryce Young there.
Yeah.
And rebuilding Houston.
Yes, I do enjoy the pairing up with the receiver with Bryce Young.
Yeah.
I obviously keep saying I think the receivers fall. So I don't know. I mean, I would not be opposed to that because you go get your quarterback who you think is the best receiver in the draft, and at the end of the day, this is your second first-round pick. Like, that is a great value pick right there.
Yep.
I hope your 13th pick is wrong. I do think the trade is correct, though. I think at the end of the day, you're just gonna have to bite the bullet.
Yeah.
You cannot have all of this played out. Aaron Rodgers come out publicly and say that he wants to play for you, and he intends to play for you, and then not go get the guy.
Right.
I think 13. I do think it's too much. I think he could.
Yeah.
I think it's less. He's probably, because of what you're eating and having to trade, and he's most likely 1 year guy, unless you have immense success, maybe 2. I think 13 though is worth it for Rodgers for 1 season because of what else you have and the team built there. But I agree with Colin. Hopefully they go Murphy there, maybe take the tight end. But I love Smith and Jigba there. That would be elite. Roger Jones, like you said, Colin. I mean, I love him, and like you said, Skoronsky falls a little bit because of the arm length. And is he going to get kicked to guard? I love Jones. Absolutely need a tackle there too because they lost both right tackles. And Miles Murphy though at 15, I would be pissed again, but love that pick for Green Bay because he's a freak. And like you said, the reason he's fallen is some weird stuff. Jalen Carter falling really hurt him.
Yeah.
His stock as well, just because Jalen Carter is going to be there for some of these teams where Miles Murphy could have gone. And then you look at what other teams need. I do like Miles Murphy slipping a little bit at 15, and that'd be a home run pick for Green Bay. Both of them and the trade would be great.
Yeah, this is like kind of a dream scenario for Green Bay. Honestly, I didn't even mean to do it. I just figured that the Jets have to blink. They have to blink first.
You cannot, at the end of the day, 13. I think you stonewall there though. As shitty as that is though, because you can't mortgage a future for a guy that's playing 1 season. But I think Green Bay would be grinning to walk away with 13 for a guy that they're done with. And at the end of the day, don't have to pay the $60 million that he's going to be getting.
Right. Yeah. It's just kind of one of those situations where what do the Jets think about themselves? If you self-scout, are the Jets good enough to win it all this year with Aaron Rodgers under center? If they think that they are, then you do what you have to do.
Trade 13. Come on. Yeah, it's worth
do
it.
what you have to do.
Totally.
Yeah.